When it comes to Die Hard, that movie has nothing to do with Christmas other than it just takes place during Christmas Eve. That movie's about a New York cop going to the Nakatomi Plaza and stopping bank robbers. Nothing to do with Christmas. Nothing to do with it.
Again, I will just have to disagree. I think Home Alone has as much to do with Christmas as Die Hard does.
I disagree.
Wow. There's going to be a fight, guys.
Hey, come over here from Seattle and fight.
Get down here. I can't start properly because Luke was waving all weird on this side of my eye over here. But welcome, everybody, to another episode of That Cousin Show. We are in a dining room. We have just downscaled. We can't afford anything. We're poor.
Can't afford it.
No, actually, we're at our kitchen table here. And it's the Christmas season. We thought, let's just hang out at the house and have fun doing this. What's wrong with that, guys?
Everything's wrong with it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Cody's texting. He's bored. I can see him texting.
Bored of the
Cody, who are you texting
Cody.
over there, Cody? What's so
Don't worry
important?
about it. Just look at important stuff.
No, you're not. You pay attention now.
Yeah, you got it.
You focus ahead.
You sent me a Google link.
Cody's a little behind on what we're doing here. Well, anyway, welcome back, everybody, to another episode. Today, we are going to talk about a subject that we always love to talk about, movies. But no, we're not going to just talk about how much we like them. We're actually going to debate movies this time. Similar to what we did for the first episode, but this time, it's all about Christmas movies. And not only are we going to debate Christmas movies, we're going to decide a winner. The subject of today is the most iconic Christmas movies.
I'm angry and ready to argue with you.
Let's fight while I have my pizza and my beer here. I think it'll be fun. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh!
You don't even have a drink.
Nope.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. No one gave me one. Oh, it ran out. Luke drank them all.
Luke's got a problem.
I'm wasted.
Of course, Joel is with us in Seattle via live stream, but
In spirit.
You have a spirit?
I have a spirit.
One thing you don't have is a
spirit's
spirit. Joel.
It's under the table.
Yes. Well, anyway, so let's get right into this here. So we have a few movies. We only have 8 that we want to go over because, listen, there's I don't know how many Christmas movies. We actually talked about this in the last episode. A Christmas movie gets made every 5 minutes in this world. We don't have time for them all. So we have picked out 8 classics that we're going to debate about which one is the most iconic. Now, I want to clarify here. Iconic does not mean your favorite.
Right.
You all understand?
What?
You all understand the
What? I mean,
difference
should
here?
we define iconic then?
Iconic to me is synonymous with the most famous, or just famous in general. It has a lot of popularity, and it's recognizable.
Renown.
It is renowned. Yes, I would classify those all as something iconic. In fact, someone look up the definition of iconic. What does it even mean?
Oh.
Cody, you have a computer?
Oh,
This is where you come in, Cody.
I already had it in my history.
Hurry while I eat this slice of pizza. Oh, it's cold.
Oh, iconic, relating to or of the nature of an icon. I hate definitions like that.
Why would you use the word in the definition?
I know. It's one of those words.
Come on.
I just looked up ironic.
This pizza's cold. Where's the microwave?
So is my heart.
Well, anyway. All right. Well, I think we kind of all get the gist here. If you guys don't know what iconic means, you probably should go back to school and stop watching stuff on YouTube or SoundCloud or wherever you're listening or watching this thing at. What do you say?
I said like me.
You know what?
Go back to school.
You're an icon?
Cody's an icon.
Little do you know.
Yeah.
Cody's a pop icon.
www.ican'tgetenough.com.
There are only 2 W's in that.
Yeah, it's a weird way. It's a different internet.
Man, it's hot in here. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. Round 1. We're going to pit these 2 movies together here. Home Alone or Christmas Vacation?
Vacation.
Vacation.
Christmas vegancation.
It's probably the new age version.
The Christmas vegan.
These are 2 classics. I like both of these films. I personally have an affinity for both of them. I think we we all grew up watching Home Alone. I don't know about Christmas Vacation. I discovered Christmas Vacation much later on in the years.
Really?
I always knew it was around, but I discovered it later on, and I was like, I really liked that film. So as far as which one's more iconic, though, have at it, folks.
Home Alone.
Yeah, Home Alone's way more iconic.
Yeah, it's Home Alone.
What the hell? It's not even a question.
Yeah, this one. Joel, do you have an argument against this one?
No, I would say Home Alone as well.
All right, moving on.
Only reason is because Home Alone is like more. It's like what, PG, so it's more like family oriented. I think Christmas Vacation is what. Well, it might be PG, but it's teetering on PG-13 if it's not PG-13.
There's definitely a lot more inappropriate jokes in Christmas Vacation.
It's not in every household, I guess, is my point. So just, with that logic, you would say Home Alone would have to be a little more iconic because more people have probably seen it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that when I think of those two films, I enjoy both of them, but as far as iconic, Macaulay Culkin with his hands on his mouth, that image, everyone knows what that is. Like every single person knows what that is. You show someone Chevy Chase in a Santa hat, I don't know if everybody's going to understand what that is.
Especially younger people.
Yeah. It's funny because they came out around the same time, maybe like 5 years apart, I think.
Did they? Okay.
Christmas Vacation came out in late 80s and Home Alone was 1990. So they can't be that far apart. But I think definitely Home Alone had a lot more of a cultural impact than Christmas Vacation did, even though Christmas Vacation is a classic in its own right.
Now, would you say, and this is kind of off our subject, but which
1 year apart
film do you guys like more? Or would you prefer to watch?
Those are two different questions to me.
The latter.
I'd prefer to watch Christmas Vacation. Now, as a kid, Home Alone.
Right. I kind of fall in that same category.
It's been a while since I've seen Home Alone. I saw Christmas Vacation not too long ago, so prefer to watch. Probably Home Alone. Which one I like more? Probably Christmas Vacation, I'd say. Probably just by like a slight hair. I think it's funnier.
It's Chevy Chase is like at his best. That's why.
Yeah. It's funnier. It's a funnier
Chevy Chase
film.
in his prime.
Cody, have you even seen Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, I believe I have parts of it.
Parts of it.
Didn't get around to that.
I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. That's how impressionable it was on me.
All right. Well, anyway, we have decided. So Home Alone wins round one. Woo! No more of this Christmas Vacation crap. All right. Moving on to round two. Another two classics here. So The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Or A Christmas Story. Which one is more iconic? Again, I think I know which one we all prefer here, but which one is more iconic?
Christmas Story.
I'm with you on that one. I think A Christmas Story is definitely more iconic.
A Christmas Story plays nonstop.
Yeah.
All December long.
You can't escape that movie during December.
Yeah.
It's like a Christmas black hole.
Exactly. It's A Christmas Story. Also, have never seen A Christmas Story.
What?
I have never seen that movie.
I haven't either.
What? You haven't either?
No.
I have never seen that movie. I have no desire to see that movie.
So it's the number one Christmas movie that plays reruns all the time, and you've never seen it.
I've never seen it. No, and that's the reason why. It's like thrown in my face over and over again. Like, you have to watch this. You have to watch this.
Because it's
Yeah.
iconic.
That's exactly why.
No,
It's
I don't
become
buy
iconic.
it. I don't buy it.
What-
Give me an option, and maybe I'll watch it.
What year did A Christmas Story come out?
Probably the 80s.
I feel like it was earlier than that. Maybe it probably is the 80s. Everything came out in the 80s.
This whole time I thought we were
would
talking
say
about
80s.
Never-Ending Story.
Well, good qualify.
1983.
Oh, yeah. See? Yeah, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think that movie is really overrated. It's actually not that great.
It's not.
in all ways.
It's aged.
It has
Age
aged.
movie.
I understand him in that pink bunny outfit is very, very iconic nowadays, but I honestly think the film is
and maybe that part of that is because because it's been thrown in our face, like we know it's coming, and it's like maybe the first time you watch it, it's good, but now it's just like meh.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I could easily skip that movie every year, and I gladly have pretty much most every year, except for 1 year when I finally sat down and watched it. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders and said I could do without this the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's one of those movies you got to grow up with. If
Yeah.
you don't grow up with it, it's kind of just a blah movie.
Right. But on the other side of that coin, the Santa Claus, personally is my favorite, but I think it just came too late. was it 94, 95, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie in the theater. Wait, Cody, you remember when we went to go see that with our grandma?
Nope.
Well, it's because you were dead inside.
Still am.
I remember seeing that movie, and at the time, it didn't strike me as like this is going to be one of the greatest Christmas movies ever, but it has definitely become one of those classics where if you rewatch that movie again, there's a lot of jokes that you probably missed as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's like a
hilarious.
lot of adult jokes in there,
Oh, yeah.
strangely.
1994, Joel.
94.
Santa Claus came out. We just recently watched Santa Claus, and man, is that a funny movie.
It's hilarious.
It just holds up. Like, it just... Tim Allen, man.
It's
Bravo.
interesting, too, because the first half is like really funny, and the second half is more like serious, like Christmassy.
Yeah,
feel-good
it gets
type
really like sentimental in the
Right.
second half. But do you guys remember that scene? I laughed out loud so hard. It's the scene where he gets called in for like a parent teacher conference with the mom, and they go, "What did you do with Charlie in the night?" And he goes, "We shared a bowl of sugar. We looked for women, cleaned my shotguns."
Yeah.
It's like
We
tangent
brown
he
liquor.
goes on. I was like, "This is hilarious, man."
shared some brown liquor. Phil dressed a cat. We read a book. No, to this day,
that's
Alexis
hilarious.
and I, that's our go-to joke. Like, what did you do tonight? And like, we go through that whole spiel. It is
Phil dressed a
genius.
cat, looked for women.
It's just like Tim Allen at his best. He does like all his classic, just like euphemisms, and it cracks me up every time.
And of course, the classic meme that you see nowadays, it's we actually shared it on our Instagram, his facial hair growing back as soon as he shaved it
Yeah.
all off.
Yeah.
And it's just that I'm in big trouble. Mhm.
I'm in big trouble.
All right. Well, anyway, of course, we love the Santa Claus more, but I think we all agree A Christmas Story is more iconic because we just can't escape that movie. So,
Yeah,
Sad.
network. What network runs A Christmas Story 24/7? Is it like CBS? Joel, do you know? I don't have
don't
cable
know.
anymore.
probably TNT.
I don't have cable.
TNT is known for rerunning movies just constantly. That's how we all found Shawshank.
Switch to Santa Claus. TNT.
Yeah. Can we start a PSA for most of humanity? We would prefer a Santa Claus. Or the Santa Claus.
I know the executives at TNT will listen to our podcast.
They're our only audience.
Excuse me, Mr. TNT.
Mr. TNT.
Mr. and Mrs. TNT face.
What if Mr. T was in charge of TNT?
And we weren't surprised at all. This makes perfect sense.
Classic Mr. T.
It was just network before him.
T.
All right, moving on.
TNT.
Moving on to our third round here. So, another two classics. Jingle All The Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Elf with Will Ferrell. Which one is
None
more
of those
iconic?
are iconic. They're both garbage.
Both garbage?
Settled.
You think they're both garbage?
Yeah, they're both
To
garbage.
be fair, you
I'll
think
give
everything's
you
garbage.
the bigger pile of garbage is Jingle All The Way. Less pile of garbage is Elf.
Wow.
Dude, you would have a lot of people to argue with over Elf specifically. Elf is like beloved, especially in like our generation and younger. I am not one of those people, but I will say
I'm not either, but
Yeah, I think we are
A
in
lot of
the-
my friends love that movie. I still don't understand it.
You should
but they
unfriend
do.
them.
we should unfriend them.
Yeah, I think we are in the unpopular opinion that Elf is enjoyable. I think there's funny moments in that movie, but overall, it's not that great. I think it's a little overrated, that movie. I think it gets too much attention. Now, again, it's not about which one we prefer more, which one is more iconic, which one can we not escape. I think Elf is definitely the one because we're talking about it.
Yeah,
I think it gets too much attention.
Yeah, Elf has claimed a higher status in
has.
holiday movie. Jingle All the Way kind of just fizzled into like 90s Schwarzenegger
Right.
movie.
I think that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
I would much rather watch Jingle All the Way again. That's not saying much, but that movie's not that good.
I mean,
But-
if you, I just love that Sinbad is in it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If I could put two people together in the world, it would be those two.
If you could see a rivalry, it would be Sinbad versus Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Going after the
if
Doberman
I
doll.
was, if I was like a producer and they were like pitching the movie and all they said was Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, fighting over a gift, I'd be like, I will give you millions of dollars to make this.
And you will have wasted your money.
Yes, it would be a poor investment, but I would do it anyway.
Yeah, I think we saw Jingle All the Way back when we were kids, so we might have a little more affinity to that. Plus, I just like Schwarzenegger in general. And Will Ferrell's funny, of course. He's hilarious in most things he does. But Elf just seemed like it was so much pandering to just get a laugh. It seemed very childish laughs. Just him doing that all the time. And I kind of go, this isn't that funny.
Yeah, that character that he played was like slightly over the top annoying.
Yeah, right. I think it's it's just annoying a little bit.
I get like that's the appeal, like that's why people find it funny, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't find it funny. It didn't strike me as hilarious. It has its moments. There's a few moments in there where I was like, this is pretty funny. But
it reminds me of like a candy that's like too sweet. Like I just don't like it. Like the elements are there. It's just like too much of it. It just like leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I feel as if, again, I'm pretty sure we are in the unpopular side of this. We're in the minority here, but I think that movie missed the mark a little bit in terms of the comedic points it was trying to make. And it just, like you said, it's too sweet, and it's just like, this is kind of annoying. I don't care for it.
But it moves on.
Yeah.
But of the two, I'd pick Elf.
Yeah, Elf is, I think, because it has become so popular amongst the millennial generation, our generation. So I have to say that it definitely is more iconic. You guys all agree? Elf? Are we going with Elf on this one?
Moving on.
No one talks about Jingle All the Way.
We do.
Who mentions it besides us? No one.
I was just talking to this guy the other day. He was like, hey, buddy, Jingle All the Way.
You remember Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, Jingle All the Way, buddy? I was like, yeah, I remember that movie. All right, so we got it. So Jingle All the Way. Man, we're crossing off all the ones we like. It's kind of
I know, it's kind of sad.
I don't know if I like Jingle All the Way, though. I don't know if I ever like Jingle All the Way.
This is probably true, but I
there
prefer
are
Jingle All
some
the Way
funny
overall.
moments. That's about it.
Yeah, I suppose.
They have some. All right, moving on to the fourth category here. Oh, man. We're going to get in deep water with this one, guys. Yep. It's a Wonderful Life or Die Hard. Oh, buddy. Talk about a pairing.
Not even the same.
Couldn't be more opposite films. Now, let's
make a case for Die Hard for a second.
Let's sidebar this conversation a little bit about whether or not Die Hard is actually a Christmas movie. Who's on the bandwagon that it is a Christmas movie? Is anybody here saying that's a Christmas movie?
I will say that it's a Christmas movie.
Joel, you say it's a Christmas movie?
I think it's a movie that takes place during Christmas.
Yes. Thank you. That's what I think.
But so does so does Home Alone.
Yes, but I've thought about this. I've prepped my arguments for this one. This comes down to what's your standard for a Christmas movie. I think we're arguing subjectively about an objective point here, so there's not going to be a right or wrong answer. But like I said before, this comes down to what is the standard for a Christmas movie. If your standard is it just has to take place during Christmas, then it definitely qualifies as a Christmas movie. But if your standard is it has to be about Christmas, it's definitely not a Christmas movie. Which one makes more sense?
Well, the fact that Home Alone is a Christmas movie, you would have to go with the latter. Because it's not about Christmas at all.
Well, here's my problem with, and I agree that it's a compelling argument to say that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because there's a lot of Christmas elements in it. It's a very compelling argument. I see the points they make. However, if you take that argument to its logical extreme that it just has to take place during Christmas, that means pretty much any movie that's ever had a Christmas scene in it, even if for the shortest, briefest moment, follows that same logic. And I would not qualify every single movie that has a Christmas scene in it as a Christmas movie. Such as, if the end of Toy Story takes place during Christmas, does that make it a Christmas movie?
No,
I don't think so.
But it's Christmas is the setting for the whole movie.
Right. So, but to my original point, if you take it to its logical extreme, if the movie just has to take place during Christmas, either for the whole movie or just one scene, then that would make sense.
I think a Christmas movie, for me anyway, it just has to have Christmas elements in it. It doesn't have to be about Santa Claus or about presents or whatever.
Here's the thing. I think it doesn't matter what any of us think. I think it matters what people in general associate these movies with. And I feel like the general consensus, like if you went and asked a group of people, a control group, a lot of that group the majority would say Die Hard is at least a movie that they associate to Christmas because it's like a winter movie.
Mm-hmm. And to bring the hammer down a little bit, Bruce Willis himself has said on record last year, not a Christmas movie. And that to me was the ultimate, it's over. It's not a Christmas movie.
No. Yeah, what's his argument?
And who
he's the star of the movie,
and who has probably seen Die Hard less than anybody?
Right.
Probably Bruce Willis.
But if he's the star of the movie, that's basically saying to George Lucas, you don't know what the Force is.
He didn't write it though.
But he's like the main. Okay, that's like saying to Mark Hamill, you don't know what the Force is.
He probably does.
Mark Hamill is the first one to admit that fans know more about Star Wars than he does.
Yes, he is the first to admit that. 100%.
So are you switching sides now?
What did I say initially? No. Look, what I'm saying is, I don't personally. I don't think Die Hard is it's not about Christmas, mm-hmm. but I think the general consensus in society is it's a movie that people associate with the holidays, with Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it takes place during Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I think if I were to play devil's advocate, and I would say, because I'm trying to fit, because it's hard to not fit Home Alone in the same camp as Die Hard. Because Home Alone is literally just the family version of Die Hard without guns and violence. It's not about Christmas. It's just taking place during. He's trapped in a house almost. Christmas is all around him, but that's about it. And he's just trying to fight off burglars for the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Well, the last scene of the movie is actually all about Christmas. The thing he wishes for on Christmas was to get his family back. The whole film is centered around the idea of the Christmas holiday.
That's, again, it's just taking place. I think that's just a convenient role or a convenient setting for that message, right? The real message is that don't take things for granted, like your family, right? You need to respect your family. You want to be with them. There are better things,
which is a very Christmas themed idea.
What's that?
Which is a very Christmas movie themed idea. Don't take your family for granted. That would be very much applied to Christmas.
You could put that in literally any setting. It could be Halloween, and it could be the same thing.
Sure, but with the backdrop on top of the idea of addressing it as a Christmas, I think that definitely helps.
Okay, let's imagine this then. It's summertime. They go on vacation. He does the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he wishes that he could see his family again.
Right.
And then it has nothing to do with
it's not
Christmas.
related to Christmas. He just wishes it because that's what he wants.
Sure. And I understand the point, but you have to also understand the point that at the end, it's all wrapped in the bundle with Christmas. Therefore, it becomes a Christmas movie.
It's wrapped in the bundle of Christmas because it's a Christmas setting?
Because it takes, like you said, it takes place during Christmas, right? And I agree that taking place during Christmas is part of the main argument about why it qualifies as a Christmas movie. But I don't think that's the only thing you need. You need to actually have it be about something about Christmas. And at the end, that whole theme is wrapped up. Anyway, that's Home Alone. When it comes to Die Hard, that movie has nothing to do with Christmas other than it just takes place during Christmas Eve. That movie's about a New York cop going to the Nakatomi Plaza and stopping bank robbers. Nothing to do with Christmas. Nothing to do with it.
Again, I will just have to disagree. I think Home Alone has as much to do with Christmas as Die Hard does.
I disagree.
Wow. There's going to be a fight, guys.
Hey, come over here from Seattle and fight.
Get down here. Cody, what do you think?
Cody literally couldn't care less.
About much of anything.
I looked it up, and Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and because Willis said so. But
Cody.
You would find it interesting because the writer says it is a Christmas movie.
Whoa.
What about the director?
I don't know. Is there a director for that movie?
John McTiernan.
Nom McTiernan.
Someone direct that movie?
Mm-hmm.
In the words of Adam Sandler, who gives a hoot?
Who gives a hoot?
All right, well, let's get back to the original question.
Yeah, so It's a Wonderful Life or Die Hard? It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as iconic Christmas movies, yeah.
What was the message of Die Hard?
Yeah.
Open concealed permits are allowed.
Don't mess with Bruce Willis.
Get a better
Or his
security
family.
system.
Again, like if your standard was it just has to take place during Christmas, it's a Christmas movie. If it has to be about Christmas, that movie does not qualify in the least. So
Well, and the fact that It's a Wonderful Life is probably the most iconic Christmas movie of all time.
which and the irony on top of that is that the movie actually has very little to do with Christmas, because that movie the only part that ties that movie together with Christmas is very similar to Home Alone. It's at the very end of the movie. The rest of the movie does really nothing, has nothing to do with Christmas.
Right.
It's
in fact, actually, it
all tied
almost
to the
has
end.
the same exact message as Home Alone.
Yeah, in a lot
it's
of ways it does.
Cherish
Yeah.
your family. Did you know that there's I forget what it was. I forget what I heard it on. I think, it was Mike Rowe's podcast. Have you guys heard Mike Rowe's podcast?
I have not. I love Mike Rowe, but I haven't heard his
Oh
podcast.
my gosh, it's amazing. So it's called The Way I Heard It, and it's essentially just like a super short podcast, 5-minute podcast, and he tells a story of like something, but he tells it kind of like in reverse. So he'll tell the story and he won't tell you what he's talking about, and then he'll like at the end he'll say like, I'm talking about this super famous person or super famous thing. Anyways, he tells a story. I'm going to spoil one. He tells the story of It's a Wonderful Life. That movie bombed when it was made. It was like nobody watched it. It was like a complete flop. And then it was like one of the first movies that was picked up by networks, by network TV as like a rerun. And that created like kind of a cult, like holiday following. And that is what like propelled the movie into like the status it is today. It's like one of the most famous like holiday themed movies of all time. But when it came out, nobody watched it. And also, I think part of his podcast is like the guy that did like some of the special effects invented like fake snow for that movie.
Wow. So it was very pioneer in a lot of ways.
like modern fake snow, like for that movie. Anyways,
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of historical tidbits there. But yeah, that's definitely, it's obviously a contender for number one on this list. But I just think it's so ironic that that movie has very little to do with Christmas, except for the very last part. That's where it all becomes a Christmas movie to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird structure to that movie. It's very long, and like you don't really know where it's going the entire movie until the end.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said it was long, Joel, because I felt the same way when I watched it, because I enjoyed it, but I just thought this is way longer than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
It was a long flick. It might be shorter than I think it is, but I didn't remember being...
It just feels long.
It did feel long. How long does it say on there, Luke?
I always forget that it has like the classic, I'm pretty sure it's that movie that has the classic like, oh, you want the moon? I'll like throw a lasso around it. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, lasso around
Jimmy Stewart.
yeah, classic Jimmy Stewart line. It's 2 hours 15 minutes.
Wow,
Okay, it's
feels
not
longer
that
than
long.
Long-ish movie. Came out in 1946.
Whoa. We were all alive.
Old.
We were all around at the time. Cody, have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No, I have not.
You know the general premise, though,
Looking
right?
forward to it though. Yeah.
Well, are you planning on watching it soon?
Nah.
I ain't gonna do that.
I know what it's about. I know the message. I don't need to see it.
IMDb has an 8.6 out of 10. That's a fantastic rating.
That is pretty high up there.
Has anybody watched it recently?
I watched it probably 5-6 years ago, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I see the love for that movie,
Yeah.
but I'm okay waiting a couple years to watch that again.
It's a sweet message.
Yeah, it's very timeless, that movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, since it's 1946. All right, but we all agree It's a Wonderful Life is more iconic than Die Hard. All right. It's funny because I think this list just consists of all the movies that we wish were iconic, and those are all the ones that are getting X'd out right now.
No, we're right.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's Cody spoke. Sorry. All right. Moving on to the semifinals here. All right. So we have the two movies that won out in the first two categories. We have Home Alone or A Christmas Story? Which one is more iconic, folks? Ooh, now it's getting harder.
Yeah, it is.
A little difficult.
Home Alone or A Christmas Story? Which one
Home Alone.
is... You think Home
My
Alone?
gut goes with Home Alone. And that's just because, I mean, that's probably partially because we grew up with that movie and I've watched it way more times than A Christmas Story. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to like form an argument for it, and I don't even have one.
I still, as much as I hate to say, I still think A Christmas Story beats it out because of the fact that, like, regardless of what we think, like, that movie is the movie that plays. I'm gonna say it again. It plays 24/7, guys. 24/7.
It's a very compelling argument.
Like,
because it does play 24/7.
yeah, Home Alone does not.
Home Alone does not.
So I don't know how else to, I wish Home Alone played. I would watch Home Alone if it was on TV. But
Yeah, I obviously I'm trying to separate my feelings from what is the objective truth here, and I don't know. This one's tough because the Pink Bunny and Macaulay Culkin's screaming face, those are two very iconic images.
Granted, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
They're two
Christmas
very
Story
iconic.
is definitely more of a Christmas movie, for sure.
It
has
is.
way more Christmas elements in it.
Yes, absolutely. I want to say, you know what? I am going to go
With trimmers.
To hell.
Cody, which one did you say?
Die Hard. Home Alone. I said Home Alone.
Which one are you going with, Joel?
I don't know. My gut goes with Home Alone.
Oof. So
Your
does that mean if I say A Christmas Story, we have a tie? What do we do in the event of a tie, guys?
We arm wrestle,
I would lose.
and then we tickle fight.
So this all comes down to me. I planned it perfectly this way. I'm the
pressure,
center of
Dylan.
attention.
No pressure.
I don't know, Luke. I think I agree with you on this one, actually.
We are correct.
How
man.
dare you have a different opinion?
What do we do in the event of a tie? We thumb wrestle?
I think
Tongue lashing.
I think if you sent out a survey to the people of the United States of bloody America,
I want to include Vietnam.
It would be 60% to 70% A Christmas Story.
Actually, all right, so here's what we're going to do in the event of a tie. Whichever one made more money.
All right.
Because that, to me, will determine popularity.
No. How about the number of times it's been torrented? Then you'll know.
I don't think you can track
Because
that, Cody.
having it be, because here's my argument against your point, Luke, about it plays 24/7. The reason it plays 24/7 is because it's so cheap to play it 24/7.
Sure.
That's why Shawshank Redemption was so popular, is because they replayed it constantly because it tanked at the box office.
I guess if you compare $1983 to $1990, it could make a difference. But Christmas Story made $20.6 million at the box office. Mm-hmm. Okay. In 1983. Home Alone in 1990 made $286 million at the box office.
Well, I think that settles that a little bit.
In today's numbers, that's $8 billion.
Yeah, I think one. Yeah, again, the strongest argument you gave, Luke, was the idea that it does replay on TV constantly. So that might have something to do with its iconic status. But I think that's also because it's so cheap to play that thing over and over again.
Right.
That does not necessarily mean it correlates.
There's a lot of crappy movies they play all the time.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean it's more iconic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think so many people though have a tradition of like watching that movie every holiday season. Like, it's not like they play it and it's not like everybody's like, oh my God, Christmas Story's on all the time. Oh, I hate that movie. It's like everybody loves the fact that it's on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
but I would say if Home Alone played all the time, it would be the same thing.
Sure. And if Home Alone was on all the time, I'd say that was the more iconic, but it isn't. So thus my argument.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go just based off box office numbers and probably, I bet you too, if we did do a poll, it would probably be really close. But in terms of just popularity, I'm going to go with the numbers on this one and just say Home Alone is. I'm really split down the middle, but just to break the tie, I'm going to say box office numbers.
All right.
So
it's down. It's official.
Am I the only one then? Am I the only one?
For A Christmas Story, yeah. So we're going to go 3-1 on this one.
You guys are all jerks.
I'm going to go with The Revenant.
So Home Alone moves into the finals. We have Home Alone. All right, so our other semifinal round is Elf versus It's a Wonderful Life. I think this one's very easy to me.
I just want to hear Cody's thoughts on this. The fact that these two are matched up against each other.
You know, I saw this coming. I knew Elf was going to be matched up with A Wonderful Life and Christmas Story.
But it's not going to be matched up with A Christmas Story.
Oh, we
Christmas Story
that.
lost.
Oh, never mind.
Cody's playing solitaire right now.
Yeah.
Cody has his own bracket going.
Cody's watching porn.
Duh. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do we even have to say it? It's a Wonderful Life is more iconic than Elf, right? I mean, we're all
sure it is.
We're all going to agree on this. The box office numbers probably don't align in this argument.
Well,
but
Elf hasn't had a chance.
We don't have to split the tie. Well, no, I can almost guarantee that Elf probably has made more money because of inflation and whatnot. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe A Wonderful Life has made more.
I'm going to Google it right now. How much money has Elf made?
Let me know.
Box office.
173.4.
173.4.
Elf starred Will Ferrell. Might be a different story.
It's a Wonderful Life made $3.3 million at the box office.
Yeah, but back then,
That was
everything
a lot of
cost
money.
like 3 cents.
Actually, it didn't make hardly any money because it cost $3 million to make. It's a Wonderful Life. 3.1 million, 3.2.
Well, gee Louise. I know that Elf is extremely popular amongst the crowd, but we're talking about iconic here. I'm pretty sure Elf hasn't had enough time.
That's what I just said.
It really has not.
Even if we give it 10 more years, everyone will forget Elf. I promise you.
You promise, huh?
Until Will Ferrell dies, no one will be thinking about it.
Well, just the fact that, I mean, what other movies from 1946 can you think of that?
Yeah.
Besides Miracle on whatever street?
34th.
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah. There's very few movies that people could really remember from that time period that we'd still consider like, oh, we know exactly what that movie is. You know, there's only a handful. But I think the reason Elf is so popular is because it's come out in the last, 10, 15 years? And it's still just a popular amongst the millennial generation. I guarantee you it was the millennial generation watched that. They really enjoyed it. They thought it was funny. And that's just the movie they remember going, oh, that was the funny one that I saw. But they just haven't gotten around to that black and white movie that came out in 1946. So I'm pretty confident It's a Wonderful Life is definitely more iconic than that one. I'm very, very comfortable.
That's my vote.
James Caan was in it, right?
Yes.
Well, then that's good. He's good.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm pretty confident we got It's a Wonderful Life. So the very final round, it comes down to these two movies. I didn't think it was going to be this strange, but I guess it is. Either Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life.
As far as iconic
Christmas
movie.
Iconic
That's
Christmas.
tough.
Because they're very similar in certain ways.
Right.
It's about something you've lost and you wish to have it back, and it all ties together
Over the
Christmas.
holidays.
Yeah, over the holidays on Christmas morning. At the end, it's all tied together, and everyone's together. They're very, very similar. So, which one is more iconic? That's a tough one. That is a very, very tough one. The box office numbers are on Home Alone's side, but the legs and the legendary status is on the It's a Wonderful Life side.
It's a Wonderful Life did it first. It's a Wonderful Life. I feel like. That's my vote.
It's your vote.
It did it first.
Did it first. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a good argument. I like that argument.
What do you think,
This is
Cody?
the OG.
It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The movie you haven't even seen.
Yeah, it's quoted a lot more than Home Alone.
This is true.
I would say because it has. I mean, if it was just like sort of iconic, I don't think it would have lasted as long as it did. I think it's only lasted as long as it did, and only, maintained its course as being, a very famous Christmas movie is because it's so iconic. Like you said, Luke, it was like basically the first one to be an iconic like Christmas movie. So I would say It's a Wonderful Life as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to round this out and say I completely agree. It's a Wonderful Life was always, to me, the front runner going into this group because it really has, like you said, Luke, been around for a long time. It was the OG between these two, and it's really hard to beat that one. I don't know if there will ever be one that is more iconic than It's a Wonderful Life. I think it is the ultimate Christmas movie that everybody still is watching that thing, no matter if it's rerunning on TNT or not. So yeah, I think we have declared a winner. It's a Wonderful Life is the most iconic Christmas movie.
Yay!
Yeah,
Our opinion matters the most.
yeah. Raise your hands in glory, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
All right, take your pants off. All right.
Whoa, hey,
Yay.
slow down. It's not Christmas yet.
Let's speed it up.
Well, hey, that wasn't fun at all, guys. I hated that whole experience. Let's never do that again.
It was garbage. Complete garbage.
Yes, well, for anybody out there who actually cares about our opinion, It's a Wonderful Life is the most iconic Christmas movie to us. But if you care about more of our opinions, you guys should come back next week, where we're probably going to do this again for something else Christmas related. And I think you guys should partake in that.
Whoa.
But until then, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on all our social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Where else are we these days? We're on SoundCloud and iTunes. I forgot about those places.
Yeah, man.
Everywhere. So check us out there, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.